Good morning, and welcome to the New Species in Live. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Aston. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
All right, we see a bunch of you are already on. Good morning, June. If you don't have any questions or comments yet, feel free to just say hi to us. We love to know that you're there. It's very encouraging to have you interacting in the chat. For those of you who are new to New Species or this live stream, NuSpecies is a natural health company. We invent and manufacture our own line of high potency herbal medicine and plant based supplements. And all of our formulas are designed to help your body be as resilient as possible against the toughest of health challenges. And that goes right along with our mission, which is to help our clients live better and longer. And we've been doing that for 16 years. And we plan on continuing to do that for the rest of our lives. And having you here with us, giving us your questions, telling us what scares you, what worries you, what is plaguing you, and how we can be of service is what the purpose of this is for. Because everyone is different. And what a good health choice is for you may not be the same for someone else. And so we will be here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to give you answers to your questions that will help you continue along your own unique health journey. So thank you so much for being with us here today, those of you on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Maybe just a quick question on Instagram. Is the Brooklyn location open? So I don't know if you're aware that we closed the original location over in Canarsie, and we do have a new location now in Marine Park. It is not officially open yet. We just have to get down there and set up some last supplies and equipment and things. But otherwise, it is pretty much ready. So as soon as it is ready, we will send an email, we will send a text, we will post it on the app, we will send a push notification through the app. We will announce it here on the Q&A. So please, if you want updates like that in real time, make sure you're on our lists where you can join from the homepage of our website. And then I think in the email that I send every week, well, if you're not already on the email list, you wouldn't get the link. So just go to nuspecies.com and the pop-up will come up and you can fill in your information and that will add you to our email list and our text list so you won't miss a beat. All right. I'm assuming Aston quickly had to do something. He's over in Bronxville. Let's see. Okay, looks like we lost him. All right, he'll come back. Aston, text or chat if you need help. If you're having a technical issue. I think last week this happened too. It was just the internet. Okay, let's see. June, what do you got to say? This was the second week taking MSM. Started taking one in the AM. When I increased to 3 this week, within 1 to 2 hours, I feel very anxious and have heart flutters. Haven't taken past few days and am fine. That is a completely new thing that I have never heard of, June. So thank you for bringing that here. I will see once Aston gets back on, we will see if he has any feedback about that. It's hard to surprise me, but that is truly completely new. I have never heard that. I can't even think of what that could be unless, are you allergic to shellfish, June? And if you can, I'll keep an eye on the chat, see if you respond. The MSM, because as you know, we source all of our nutrients from plant-based sources or from natural wild animal sources. I took two last week in the morning since I'm very sensitive to start slowly. So, but once you got to 3, you started to feel that. Okay. Yeah, that is, I can't even think. What I was going to say is that because our MSM is actually extracted from crushed up shells from shellfish, it shouldn't really affect anybody with a shellfish allergy, but sometimes, I mean, we typically will tell someone if you have a shellfish allergy, just don't take the MSM. So I'm curious to know if maybe that's something you're sensitive to. But once we get Aston back. Hey, Aston. He's trying to come back. No allergy that you know of, or you're sure you don't? All right, once we can get Aston back. Nope. Last time this happened, it was just his internet, so we might just have to wait. I don't know if Mary, if you getting anything from Aston. I'm not hearing anything. Good morning, Diana. Thank you for being here. Morning, morning. So I sent out. So June, we'll get right back to you once Aston is able to join us again. Hold on, here we go. You made it.
Yeah, I'm out in the boondocks.
He just took a little sojourn.
Yeah, I'm out in the potato fields of Idaho.
In Bronxville.
In Bronx.
Okay. So Aston, we had this is a first for me. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but June was saying that she, for the first time, was trying the MSM. And she started off she always starts off our formulas taking small amounts and then increases because she's very sensitive. And she started to take 1 in the morning and she was fine. Then she increased to 2. And then once she got to 3, she said within 1 to 2 hours, she was feeling very anxious and having heart flutters. And then she stopped taking it and she felt fine. So I asked her, if she had a shellfish allergy, because that's the only possible sensitivity I've ever heard of with MSM. Have you ever heard anything like that before?
No. June, you're giving us a first. So
She said maybe
we should.
Coincidence, but I'm afraid to take it again. I
I
would
think
listen to your body.
she should take a break, maybe for a week or 2, and go back to the 1 for now. The MSM is pretty potent. All our formulas are pretty potent. So June, if you're taking any medication, to let us know. But I've never heard that before. We'll have to look into that. Look at your labs, and maybe you and I should talk offline and see what's going on. But never heard that one. I have some people who are taking up to 12 daily, and they're fine. So yeah. So we can check into what could be causing that for you.
Right. She said the only medication she's on is a diuretic, and that she is unique. I definitely would listen to your body, and I mean, it could have been a coincidence. You only did it once and then stopped, so it'd be hard to know. But I would say until you can talk to Aston and send in your labs, and just let's do a little detailed review, and also review why you're taking it, and if there's something else you could take instead, then maybe it's not worth even trying. So talk to Aston before you continue it.
Right. And in the meantime, just drink lots of water, not fluids, just water. You can drink other juices or whatever, but drink lots of water. Try to get maybe 50, 60 ounces daily, or even more daily, just to flush your system out in case there could be other things. Usually when there's an allergy or allergic reaction to anything at all is because our bodies have other chemical particles. That's what the histamine reaction is all about. It's the immune system producing more chemicals to eradicate chemicals. One of the chemicals that our bodies produce is histamines in allergy or allergic reactions. So just drink lots of water to flush your system out, just in case you got exposed to some chemicals in foods or water, the air. You just never know.
Yeah. Yep. There are literally thousands and thousands of food additives that are not regulated, and we have no idea how they impact our bodies. And if you had started eating maybe the same thing for a while and it built up in your system, so you just never know.
Right.
Okay.
I usually say, June, if you take NuSpecies and you have your body, has some reaction to it, it's a good thing because you're learning something about your body, because, we can tell you all formulas are clean, very clean. We go through all kind of testing and screening for particles. The purification system that we have is about 49 different stages of purification. before we make our formulas, not including all the testing. So we go to great pains to make sure that our formulas are clean. And so if you feel something when you take NuSpecies, your body is telling you something that is going on that your body is trying to fix, actually. But take a
Mhm.
break and try to get in 50, 60 ounces of water, even more if you can daily, just to flush your system out, flush your liver out.
June said, I'm not giving up on NuSpecies. No worries. Not at all. Not every product we make is right for everyone, and everyone's bodies are unique, which is what we say. So, as wonderful as MSM is, it is one of our formulas that is not directly a whole food. In like the
Hmm.
ingredients, the MSM, which is methylsulfonylmethane, is extracted from a natural source, and so you may be more sensitive, June, to nutrients that have been removed from their original delivery system, even though no one was ever going to like chomp on the shells of a shellfish. So it was like not a place you'd ever get that nutrient from by eating. But perhaps, that's just, it's a little bit strong for you. And you took one and you felt fine. So you may end up just being fine with one. And again, maybe you can get the same results from a different formula that we make, and maybe you don't need to take the MSM. So Aston can help you figure that out.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Some people just can't take even our LNU1, which is our most basic rebuilding formula compared to the LNU9 and LNU25. Some people can't do more than a teaspoon of the LNU1. That's all
Mm,
they can do, and they're fine.
hmm.
So, so when we have these dosages, like if you're taking, 2 or 3, June, even 3, I think we have 3 on the label. That is a maintenance dosage for some people, but it's a rebuilding dosage for other people. So maybe your body is also telling you you only need 1 or 2. Maybe you don't have to go up to the 3.
Right. All right. Fitzgerald's asking, so is Fitzgerald's taking the detox powder, the calcium powder, and the probiotic powder? He's wondering if he could just mix those doses together in one drink, in
Oh,
like
that's
1 cup of
fine.
water.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Make sure you just put enough water, Fitzgerald. If you're doing too little water, then the powders, you might get clumps in there that don't dissolve, and then one of those could hit you in the back of the throat, and that's not a pleasant experience. So make sure you're using enough water to actually stir and dilute everything. Hi, Jay. Good morning, Winston. Good morning, Maxine. Good morning, Pauline. Let's see if I missed anyone. Got Diana. Headley. Hey, Headley. Hi, Trevor. All right, good. I said hi to everyone. Keep saying hi. Let us know that you're here if you can. I know some of you are driving, so no worries. All right. We didn't get to a question last week, but I don't know if we have the person on with us. So if you were here last week and didn't get your question answered, please let us know. I have it here. This is interesting. This one doesn't come up too often, but it was from Grace. So, Grace, I don't know if you're here, but we can go to this question. And again, folks, I always like to prioritize the live questions. So I'll go to this one that we didn't get to last week. But if you have a question, please post it and we'll get over to you. Hi, Eduardo. All right. So Grace asks, my friend Steph wants to know what she can use for her 5-year-old daughter who is on the spectrum is hyper. Um, and then she wrote and not taking something, but she got it, it was cut off. So this brings up a few things, Aston, right? Regarding the age of folks that we can recommend our products for, as well as, if someone chooses to give their child our formulas. Have you worked with anyone who's on the spectrum and is like hyperactive?
I have over the years, actually hundreds. So first thing first, the FDA only permits us to allow children 6 years and over to take our formulas, but we have not proactively stopped parents or grandparents or other family members from giving their children NuSpecies, only because NuSpecies is raw, natural, completely raw, completely natural, and we don't expect the children to have any reaction. But the law is the law. That's what the FDA requires, and I'm not going to question the logic of the federal government of the United States. So, having said that, there are lots of children who are on the spectrum who have taken NuSpecies. So, primarily, what we do, we rebuild the immune system because a lot of these children have infections. They have high antibodies. They have issues related to that. That's part of the reason a lot of them that came to NuSpecies are on the spectrum. So we have formulas that you can give them to build up the immune system, and I'm sure it will help.
Wow.
So what you should do, we should just talk offline about this.
Right. And also, just in general, as we were saying earlier, there's a lot of chemicals in our processed food, especially in ultra processed foods, UPFs, ultra processed foods, especially the ones made for children. Unfortunately, a lot of the foods made for children come with these chemical dyes, these blues, yellows, and reds that are that. I don't have the source in front of me, so I don't want to like quote as if it's fact, but I do remember in my studies from years ago, and this could have been corrected or maybe clarified more over the years, but a lot of these dyes had been linked to hyperactive behavior in children. So it's often recommended, and even pediatricians recommend this, is to avoid giving your children any ultra processed foods, especially those that include these like neon dyes of red, blue, and yellow. We just don't fully understand how these chemicals are affecting our brains. And the same is an issue for adults, but unfortunately, foods made for children have even worse chemicals because they're trying to look attractive and bright. And that means more less and less natural. If you try to use natural dyes like beet juice and carrot and those fruit snacks are going to look dull. They're not going to look as bright and attractive to a child. But of course, they're made naturally, and it's not always as attractive to children. But certainly, just cleaning up their diet could be a good start in the meantime. All right. Winston wants to know, do you have a formula for the detoxification of the liver?
We do. What I would recommend you do is to take a detox system, which is the detox intestine, the blood and the lymph node. There's a package for the detox, and add in the milk thistle. Take those three, and then if you're really concerned about your liver, like it seems that you are, you should be drinking half your body weight in ounces of water on a daily basis. Say if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be drinking a minimum of 50 ounces of water. So taking our formulas, our detoxing formulas, the anti-inflammatories, another one, you take those, your body has to be fully hydrated to remove the particles that the immune system is going to leave behind when the immune system destroys something, chemicals, toxins, viruses, bacteria. We had a client recently, just a couple of days ago, who was telling us that her body is infested with parasites. And, she's taking what she's taking, including NuSpecies. And what the doctors are finding are a lot of dead parasites floating around in her bloodstream, a lot of dead worms floating around in her body and in her bloodstream. And part of the reason for that is because her body was not, her liver was not strong enough, and her body was not fully hydrated to be able to purge itself of these wastes. So it's a waste matter. Once the body destroys something, or we have biological particles from our immune system, inflammation, that is, our bodies have to be fully hydrated for the body to pass it out in the feces or the urine, or the skin for that matter. The skin is also an excretory organ. So that's what you can do. The detox system, add in the milk thistle. And if any of your liver enzymes are elevated, the alkaline phosphatase, the ALT or AST, any of those bilirubin, those proteins, if they're elevated or too low, then you may need to add in the anti-inflammatory, because there could be viral particles in the liver as well. And this goes for all of you. I had another client just yesterday, she and her mom came here to see me in Bronxville, here in Bronxville today, and they came directly from their doctors because she she has breast cancer and she thought it was a hormonal cancer. The doctors initially thought it was hormonal breast cancer, and as they found out, it was not hormonal breast cancer. It was it was not any of the triple negative as well as was initially thought by the doctors. As it turned out, she she may the evidence is not in. Another doctor had postulated her that it could have been parasites or a virus or bacteria that led to her getting the breast cancer. So she does have a lump in her breast, and what this goes for all of us, all of you, all of us. So if you have any calcified tissue, lumps, bumps, cysts, tumors, even if they're benign, this is one of the reasons why they can turn to cancer, because these cysts, lumps, bumps, whatever they're called, calcification, they don't have a lot of blood circulation. So this is where parasites are going to go to live, because parasites don't like oxygen, and viruses and bacteria don't like too much oxygen either. So they're going to go to these lumps, bumps, cysts, and live there. And over time, they could cause the genes in the cells to become mutated and turn to malignancy. And that's how, if you've heard of people who have cancer because of viruses or bacteria or parasites or microbes, that's how a lot of these people get cancer. That's how a lot of people are getting cancer right now in the prostate. Also, a lot of people are getting blood cancer because of the pandemic we just went through, the COVID-19 pandemic. The virus is causing a lot of blood cancers, and people who had predispositions to these blood cancers, those blood cancers just blow up, and now they have full-blown blood cancers, and a lot of them are dying. And this goes for young people and older people, and I've come across a lot of that people. So that's how viruses, bacteria, parasites can lead to cancer. Hope this is helpful for all of you. So again, when I answer a question, I'm speaking to all of you. I'm speaking to your family members, your friends, your parishioners, your community. So just share this kind of information to all the people around you, and get them to join as well. Get them to join the Q&A.
So to just circle back to Winston, when he's asking about a formula for detoxification of the liver, it sounds to me, and this is what I always say when people ask about that, is I say that a healthy body should be supporting a healthy liver. A healthy body, a well-functioning body, should already be supporting whatever the liver needs, if it's detoxification. And so, is there a specific reason why you feel your liver needs some extra support? Some folks know that they're drinking too much, that alcohol is a big part of their life, and maybe that's not good for the liver. Some people know they're taking medications that they've been on for many years, and that can harm the liver. So they're looking to just help their liver along. As you know, NuSpecies, we like to support the body as a whole because we know that the body can fix itself when given the right support. Having said that, so we don't like to run around chasing symptoms or trying to target one organ or another. But having said that, sometimes an organ or a body system does need a little extra help for a temporary period of time, and we would add in something like the milk thistle. So, Aston, in what situation would your response to Winston include the milk thistle?
The the milk thistle is just one small piece of detoxifying the liver, and that's why I mentioned the detox system as well.
Right.
There are components in our detox system that the milk thistle, does not have. For example, a lot of times, as I mentioned before, our livers have issues, whether it's alcohol or chemicals, or if we have cancer, past cancer, we take medication. Just think about it, folks. There could be 1,000 reasons why our liver become filled up with inflammation. It could be our immune system killing a virus in the prostate, killing a virus in the breast gland for a woman, killing cancer in the lung or wherever. The liver has to purge it. So everything goes through the liver. Everything, folks. That's why liver is called live, Live, liver. It's life. And if you're going to detox the liver, you have to use all these pieces that we have. Ideally, all of you, if you want to do a really nice purge, purification of your liver, you would need a detox system, you would need the milk thistle, you would need the anti-inflammatory, and then I would dutifully recommend also you do the LNU1. Do all those four to just do the proper cleansing of your liver, because if you look at the metabolic panel of your liver, of the metabolic panel of your lab report, you'll see all the liver numbers. It's the calcium. If it's low or high, the protein, low or high, the bilirubin, all of those, all the way down to the alkaline phosphatase, the ALT, AST, any of them too low, too high, it means the liver is damaged. That's the point I'm getting to. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have any of those numbers that are abnormal, you also have to rebuild the liver. Yes, you detox it, you clean out the inflammation, chemicals, parasites, microbes, whatever, viruses, bacteria, inflammation. You have dead cells. That's why those numbers are high or low. So dead cells in the liver are damaged cells that are still alive, partially living cells in the. And this goes for all organs, people. It goes for all the organs. So yes, you're cleaning, but you have to rebuild because you have damaged cells and damaged tissue that need to be repaired. So ideally, if you have a lung issue, a liver issue, a kidney issue, a brain issue, a prostate issue, a breast issue, any organ, the right thing to do is to clean it, detox it, purify it, remove inflammation from it, and then rebuild it. And you can do it all at the same time if you have the budget to do those four formulas. That's the proper way to clean the liver. And now, in this case, with the liver, Winston, you're not just cleaning the liver, you're also cleaning the lung, the kidney, the pancreas, because all of those organs are related. They come together to perform a function for the body, to process foods and do elimination. Process foods, we need oxygen to process the food for our bodies to perform the catabolism. That's the way the body break up things. We need oxygen for that. So ideally, if you want to purify, rebuild the liver, clean the liver, you need those four formulas to do it the right way. And maybe you only need one system. So instead of getting the milk thistle, taking it for 3 months or 6 months, whatever the case is, maybe you just need just four. You take them all at the same time. You you detox, you cleanse, you purify, you rebuild your liver. That's probably the best way to do it, actually.
Right. And we carry the milk thistle for the cases where we really feel it's necessary, but like as Aston just said, in a lot of cases, it is counterintuitive because people are taught milk thistle is the herb you use for liver health. And again, your body already knows how to take care of the liver. So what the first step is, what support does your body need to get it to do its thing? And then if there's no indication in your lab that your liver actually needs help, then maybe you're focusing on the wrong thing. Who knows? But for Winston, he hears you. He says he's going to stop by today. Margaret, I see your question. There's another follow-up question about the liver, so I want to pose that one, and then we can get back to Margaret. So Andrea is asking, for liver cleansing, does that require diet change?
So I'm going to
Everything
be
requires
brutal.
diet change.
I am going to be so brutal now. So the truth is, all of us, I do too. I abuse as well. I don't eat perfect as a lot of you think I eat perfectly. I don't. I have a sweet tooth. When I come across an oatmeal cookie, I can control myself to eat it, especially if it tastes really good. When I come across rum and raisin ice cream, I can't resist it. But what do I do? The next day, I double up on my detox, and I even triple up on my detox. So even the detox powder, don't freak out if you hear that I take a tablespoon some days, a whole tablespoon. I take some days because I did something bad and I need to clean it out. Now, when it comes to diet, folks, we all should be eating all natural foods, all natural foods. And I know some of you didn't hear what Jillian just said about these foods that are given to children that have all these chemical particles in it, because some of the chemical particles is make it look bright and pretty for the kids to eat it or drink it. But another purpose of having those chemical, colorful particles is because it's sweetener. It's added sugar, processed sugar that will make that child sick. Someone talk about the children on the spectrum. You wouldn't believe the number of children who are being poisoned by not just these foods and liquids, but even the clothes you buy them, the shoes you buy them. You know, what you have in your home that they breathe in. All these processed chemicals from chairs and tables and your carpets and the walls. A lot of the houses are being built now. They're being built by, by fabricated chemicals they use to build the walls. So we all should be eating an all natural diet, or we should subject our bodies to an all natural lifestyle. And if you do that, you don't have to worry about diet. The only time you worry about diet, if you have hormonal issues, ladies, like if you have ovarian cysts or endometriosis or fibroids or dense versus thyroid issues, then you now have to say, all these meat I'm eating, does it have hormones in it? Does it have growth hormones or any kind of hormones? Because it's going to make my hormonal issues really bad or worse. So we all should be eating an all natural diet. So I know we like our processed foods, it tastes really good. But one of the reasons cancer is on the rise worldwide, especially among young people, and it's worse among older people, and it's killing a lot of people, as I see on a daily basis, is because of poor lifestyle, which means we're eating all these processed foods and processed foods. Our bodies, our liver cannot digest it, people, because it's not a food. Our liver will not digest it. It's not a food. Tastes good on our tongue, but our bodies can't digest it because it's not food. Our bodies can only digest foods. Foods meaning the foods have the enzymes, the amino acids, the proteins that come from the natural source. Our genes are natural. Our cells are natural. Our organs are natural. And then you're going to pour all these chemicals in there. It's like taking medication. A lot of these foods, they're worse than medication. They probably cause more side effects than some medication. A lot of the processed foods are eaten in cans and bottles and plastic bags.
Right. So I guess we could zoom out into a more general way to interpret Andrea's question when she asked if the liver cleanse requires diet change. Some people think that to take our products and get results, they have to change their diet. I'd say if you look at like 99% of our testimonials, these are folks who did not change their diet and still got amazing results. Having said that, that 1% of people, with the amount of people we've seen over the years, that 1% could be thousands and thousands of people who maybe didn't see results. Maybe they did need to change their diet. So I would say that if you want to make the most out of the money you're investing in NuSpecies formulas, if you have a serious health issue you're trying to correct and you are investing a lot more in our products than someone who's just supplementing, changing your diet will only help you get results faster, will help you keep the results long term, and will help you get down to our maintenance formulas, which cost a whole lot less, a whole lot faster. So no, none of our products require diet change. If you've consulted with Aston and you have, let's say, cancer or extremely urgent health issue, he may say, in order for him to feel confident that he can help you, you do need to change your diet. But no one would be harmed by changing their diet, and you'll get your results much faster and you'll keep them longer.
And I'll make an anti-NuSpecies statement, Andrea. An anti-NuSpecies statement. If you're eating an all-natural diet, you probably don't even need NuSpecies. Forget about the detox. Probably don't even need it.
Well, I would disagree with you.
That's fine.
Andrea says it's all natural, mean plant-based. And pretty much, yeah. That's what humans are designed to eat. That's what's naturally provided by our habitat. So plant-based, though, some people just think vegetables. They don't understand that plant-based actually means fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, so all manner of beans, and whole grains like millet and amaranth and farro and really tasty grains like that. So that is what we mean by plant-based, which is basically most of what exists on planet Earth. There are over 400,000 plants on Earth, 300,000 of which are edible by humans. So when folks who have a largely meat-based diet or meat and dairy-based diet ask, vegans or vegetarians what we eat, we're basically eating everything else in the world. So don't be afraid by that. There really is a whole lot of variety and deliciousness. I don't believe that eating healthy means it shouldn't taste good, because I won't do that myself. It has to taste good or I won't eat it. And as someone who's learning how to cook, I have a lot of painful meals because I don't do a good job and then I end up having to eat it anyway. So, but I encourage you to go on the journey of adding a whole lot more plants to your diet. And don't worry so much about eliminating meat right now. Just worry about, are you getting enough plants? And then slowly over time, the plants are just going to start to push the meat and dairy to the margins of your diet. Okay, I'm going to get back up to Margaret.
Yeah, really
Quinoa's
quick.
excellent. Yes, quinoa. Yes, quinoa. Okay, go.
So believe it or not, people, what we teach at NuSpecies, the education we give, it is entirely biblical. Just pull out your Bible and go to Genesis chapter 1 and read it. It says in there what humans should eat. If you believe in God, you believe in the Bible, you believe in Jesus, just read Genesis chapter 1. We should be eating fruit and vegetables. That's what it says in the Bible. Not making it up, people.
And actually, if you go back to the true, original practices in most religions, huge chunks of the year are all about abstaining from animal products. Advent and Lent and many, many, many times during the year where you're supposed to fast, a lot of it is about abstaining from meat and dairy and eating plants. So a lot of people think, wait, well, if I don't have meat, how will I, have all these religious celebrations? And it's like, actually, a lot of these celebrations were originally based around not eating any meat. Maybe the actual day, the feast, includes meat, but the whole point is you've earned it by abstaining from meat for months prior to that feast.
Right. And if you go further back to our ancient ancestors, which I don't like to call ancient because they seem more modern than we are, they seem more human and humane than we are. If you go further back in our ancestry, you'll find that a lot of, our ancestors, I would say they were eating maybe 5% to 10% meat, only because they have starvation, because of global climate change. So our ancestors were not eating the animal flesh, people. And that's why today, the mainstream media would say that our ancestors worship animals. They did not worship animals. They just respect animals and believe that animals had a right to live. And yes, they used animals as part of their, religious ritual, just as an example. But all my studies have shown that when we eat meat, we all don't digest it very well anyway. And that's something for you all to keep in mind. You eat it, and yes, it has a lot of minerals. It's about 90%, all animals, about 90% identical to us humans. So we're eating what we are. We're eating what we have already. So you will not find meat to be as nourishing as some nutritionists have claimed. But anyway, I don't want to scare people now and get you to be anti-NuSpecies. So we can move on from this. But one day we can have a session on our ancestors and what they eat and what they didn't eat and why, and how it ties into their religious spiritual practices, to God. It's all related to spirituality and God worship as well, what people eat and didn't eat. So one day we could do that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Margaret's question. Good morning, family. Good morning, Margaret. I did a colonoscopy in October. It wasn't clear. They saw seeds in the pics. Otherwise, it was okay. they want me to do another one now. Is that okay? What are seeds in the pics? I don't, do you know what that is?
Do you have diverticulitis, Margaret? Or did they, or diverticulosis, which is the first stage or initial stage of diverticulitis? So, and this goes for all of you. If you are diagnosed with any of these type of issues, diverticulitis, diverticulosis, the intestine, the small intestine, the large intestine, which is the colon, usually it get deformed and develop inflammatory pockets where
Mm.
if you eat certain foods that have grain and seeds and even nuts that you chew on, it could leave particles of these seeds or nuts in those little pockets, and
Yeah, that's
those
interesting.
and it can lead to infection. It can lead to chronic infection, and over time, if you have chronic inflammation in this intestine or the colon, it can even lead to colon cancer or intestinal cancer. So something to be careful of. So if you have that
Right.
issue, you probably should blend if you're eating nuts and grains, you probably should just blend them out, liquefy them so that when they get down there, the body can properly, the small intestine can properly digest them and pass them out, and they don't get stuck in those pockets. I'm assuming it's related to diverticulosis or litis.
No, Margaret says she doesn't have it. She just did the colonoscopy because it was time to, but the seeds that
Mhm.
they saw were pumpkin seeds. So, and Margaret, they didn't say anything to you about why those were still there after doing that horrible drink and cleaning out your colon. If they were left behind, it sounds like maybe they were stuck, like Aston is saying. And I know at least after I did my colonoscopy, they generally talked me through. I mean, luckily, I'm very proud of myself. It was clean, but they did. I heard them talking through what they found to other people, and they didn't say anything to you about why they were still there. Let's
I
see what
think,
she
Margaret,
replied.
you should do a digestive workup. Your stomach, your small intestine, your colon, your rectum. You should just go to your primary care and get a referral to do a full workup on your digestive tract, because that sounds um, that sounds very, very unusual. A pumpkin seed. I mean, I think you mean a part of a pumpkin seed, but that's still a huge particle. So you should just do
Right,
some second opinion or some follow ups on that, and
right,
then let
and
and
it's a
then let me
great.
know.
And like pumpkin seeds are extremely healthy and wonderful to eat. So I wouldn't want you to have to stop eating them. But certainly you'd want to correct whatever issue is allowing them to get stuck before continuing in that manner. Margaret, I'll keep an eye out in the chat to see if you say anything else. In the meantime, I just want to go back up. Let's see. So, okay. Earl, we're trying to find out. Earl is saying, I'm pretty sure New Genesis is back in. I'm going to check for him. But this is just a good question in general. If someone is if we sold out of a product that somebody needs, and then in this case, Earl was asking about New Genesis. That's one of his products. How does that affect someone's progress? What does this mean they should do? How should they be thinking about it? This is a big thing that comes up.
So we always have substitutes to our formulas that can be used. So if you're taking New Genesis and you're out of it, perhaps you should take in the interim, you could take the anti-inflammatory and maybe you double the dosage of the anti-inflammatory. That's one thing you could do, or probably that's the best thing to do. Is just I think the anti-inflammatory is closest related to the New Genesis. So you take the anti-inflammatory and you just double the dosage. But we always have backup folks. So if you run out of any L new or God formula or any of the other formulas, we always have other backup formulas that you can use to get help as well. And yes, New Genesis has made a tremendous difference in how we're helping people and the scale on which we're helping people worldwide is a really great thing. But yes, you can just, if you're out of the new Genesis, you can just get the anti-inflammatory, whether the regular, the upgraded, and just double the dosage. And we have new Genesis back, but I have in Bronxville, it hasn't yet gotten to Almond. You may not get there until next week sometime, probably Wednesday or Thursday. But we can
Right.
confirm that for you.
I did. Yeah, I did. So I'm actually here. I'm looking at it right now. We just haven't brought it down. Our normal shipment date, our normal delivery to the stores is every other week, which is next Wednesday. In the meantime, we have been shipping it to people. So Earl, I know you prefer going to the store. So then by next Wednesday, and just call first or text us first to be sure it gets there. But that's generally our schedule. Otherwise, we can ship it to you. We won't charge you for shipping if you want to purchase it, and we'll send it to you. Considering it's Saturday, even if I like packed it for you now and brought it to the post office, you'd probably get it Monday or Tuesday. So I don't know how effective that would really be if you just want to go over to the store on Wednesday. But I do apologize about that. It just every time I make more, I make more than I did before, and then we keep selling more and more. So I may just have to really overshoot next time, so we don't sell out. I do apologize, but as you know, we're consistently making fresh batches of our formula. We don't warehouse and stock up like hundreds or thousands of bottles, and so after we make it, we then have to send samples to the lab. They have to test it against its fingerprint to make sure that this batch matches the formulation that we originally created and that our labels are based on. And then once they give us the approval, we can send it out to you. And so if I don't estimate right how many we need, we can then end up with that delay because of the lab. So I do apologize about that. I do want to say, though, in general, I understand, especially for those of us who have urgent health issues and we're suffering and we're really counting on, maybe our medicine hasn't been working and we're really counting on NuSpecies. To not have a formula that you've been taking, especially if you're getting results, can freak you out and make you feel like everything's going to be ruined. Keep in mind that this is good news, is that because our formulas are not medicine, they're supporting your body to fix itself. It's not like this dose, without getting this dose today, you're somehow going to erase the progress you've built up or ruin your progress in the future. Overall, the rebuilding process is 3, 6, 12 months long. So a few weeks here and there of maybe changing things up. Sometimes people don't have the budget to stay on the products they need. And so they need to go down to lower products for a month or two. Other times we run out of something or you can't get to the store and replenish in time. You may feel a difference in your health in that week or two. You might not feel as good as when you were on the products, but I promise you, you're not totally losing your momentum or ruining any progress you've made, because the progress is not like when you take a medication and it just superficially lowers your blood pressure, and so you feel better, your blood pressure's lower. But if you don't take your next pill, it's right back up because the problem is still there. When you're feeling health benefits from NuSpecies formulas, it's because your body's actually fixing itself, which means that missing a few doses or changing up your package for a month or two isn't necessarily going to take away the repairing that your body did. Now, if you are eating a terrible diet and you have a very stressful life and you're not drinking enough water and you're not sleeping and you just are really, really abusing your body, then I can get why you could definitely destroy the results you've been getting. So the situation is so complicated, which is why I say it's like longer term and a bit more high level than just, if I don't have this bottle, is everything I've been doing ruined? Typically doesn't work that way. So although I get it, you want to have what you need, I promise you it's not going to change the longer trajectory of what we're working on. And get the replacement formula Asin's telling you to take in the meantime. All right, I hope that made sense. If you have any follow-up questions, Earl, let us know. Okay, Earl, check in. Thanks. I will go Thursday. Elmont's closed. Elmont's never open on Thursday. Okay, Earl. So then go Friday. Okay, Andrea saying, Asin, I love that you kept your word and you called me to get started to help rebuild my immune system. Thank you.
You are welcome. And for those of you who I haven't gotten to, which are hundreds of you, I will get back to you as well. Hang in there.
Okay, Larna wants to know. She does not eat shellfish. Larna, is that because of an allergy or just because you don't like shellfish? Because taking our MSM is not eating shellfish. The MSM is extracted from the crushed up shells of shellfish. So it's not, you're not even like technically eating powdered shells. There's a scientific process of extracting the MSM from the shells. So if there's no allergy, taking the MSM is not the same as eating shellfish. If there's an allergy, then just avoid it. And in that case, Larna wants to know what can she replace the MSM with. Larna, you might need to provide more information about this. Is Larna right? Aston, I don't know if you just know off the top of your head what her health
Mhm.
goals are, but it might require Aston to know a little bit more about what your health goals are to make that recommendation. But what would you say in general, Aston?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
If she can't or doesn't want to take the MSM, what could she
Hmm.
replace it with? Is there a generic answer,
So,
or do you need to know what she's actually working on?
no, if I recommended the MSM, then what you can do, Lorna, you can do the anti-inflammatory and the new Genesis. Um, I am, if I go into the details, I'm going to be revealing, a lot of my secrets now, and I don't want to start killing people off. I want to do that.
Yeah,
But
don't do
trust me,
that.
Lorna, just do the new Genesis and the anti-inflammatory, and maybe you double the dosages of those. Especially if you're taking the MSM by itself. But the MSM, the new Genesis, the anti-inflammatory, as a lot of you know, I put that in your system because it's a powerful cleansing and rebuilding of the genes and DNA, along with the new Genesis. That's part of the reason why you have that in there. So you can do the new Genesis along with the anti-inflammatory if you don't have the MSM, or if you're not taking the MSM. And Lorna, you should be, as Jillian just explained, I would say over the past 20 years or so, the people who come to us and say they have allergy to a plant or herb or food that we have in our formulas, as it turned out, a lot of those people would use our formulas and they would have no allergic reaction at all. So, as I mentioned earlier, usually when someone has an allergy, it's a chemical, not a food. It's a chemical they have an allergy to. So if you have certain chemicals in your system, especially your liver, and then you're consuming foods that have chemicals. So let's distinguish between chemicals and elements. So elements are what's on the periodic table. Let's say calcium; those are pure. And then you have chemicals, which could be synthetic chemicals. These are made in a lab. A lot of the processed foods that we eat, whether we eat it in cans or bottles or plastic bags or made in a lab, they're synthetic chemicals. So they don't go well with our genetics, our DNA. Our DNA and our genetics are made from the elements on the periodic table of chemicals, literally. But once something is made in a lab, it's not a chemical. The chemicals and the periodic table can't be replicated in a lab. So when they make these synthetic chemicals that they put in foods, salt, sugar, you can name them all, those could have particles of other chemicals along with them. And again, the chemicals in the periodic table, they're pure. It's pure oxygen, it's pure potassium, it's pure, all of these chemicals are pure. Once you have either chemical structures or particles in them, you now have a compound. You have a synthetic compound, a synthetic chemical, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people have all these allergies. So I'm not saying you should try the MSM, but maybe you should. Maybe just do one capsule or part of a capsule and see how your body reacts to it. You may be surprised. I had a lady who was fearful of taking our B vitamins. She would tell me, she would come with her husband on a Saturday, and she would say, I can't take B vitamins. It made me sick. I get swollen and I get headaches and dizziness. And I think by accident she took caveman that her husband is taking that has the B vitamins. And she said, "Oh my God, I didn't have a reaction. I didn't even know the B vitamins. The new formulas have B vitamins." And since the last several months, she's been coming in and buying her B vitamins with vitamin C or a multivitamin, and she has had no reaction. And every time she comes, we have a big laugh. She thought she couldn't take the NuSpecies B vitamins, and she took it, and she loves it. It's giving her a lot of energy. So give it a try. You might surprise yourself.
May did say she does have NuGenesis and the anti-inflammatory, so she's good there. She did confirm that although it is because she believes she has an allergy and believes it will apply to the MSM, she also doesn't consume shellfish for religious reasons. So I guess it's a matter of how many degrees of separation from the shellfish would apply here. But again, it's not actual shellfish in the MSM. I will say, I wanted to add on about the B vitamins point you made, and this applies to a lot of our products when compared to other supplements, because even though when you read our label, you're going to see the same names of B vitamins as you see on other products. Just because it's the same name doesn't mean it is the same thing. So for example, if a B vitamin is created in a lab and has never come from nature, it's still going to be called cobalamin, cyanocobalamin, or methylcobalamin. It's still going to be called niacin. It's still going to be called folic acid. So you can't even tell whether the vitamin has been created in a lab or whether it has been sourced from a natural place. So for example, our B vitamins, not only are they extracted from vegetables, but we have not applied any heat to them in the making of our products. B vitamins are heat sensitive. They are damaged and rendered useless when processed with heat. So even if you have another company making B vitamins, pulling them from vegetables like we do, if they process that product with heat while making it, those B vitamins are now useless. They may not be as toxic, but they're not going to be useful to your body. For us, they have maintained all of their integrity so your body can process them. And that is why when people think they have a sensitivity to something, it's likely because it's been processed so much and with heat, or because it never came from nature at all, that they're actually sensitive to that delivery system, not necessarily to the nutrient itself. And that's what makes it a little bit hard with our products, is people will read our label, especially with the B vitamins, and say, well, this looks like this is synthetic. This is not the natural form of this. And truthfully, there is no natural form of B vitamins outside of food, because all B vitamins immediately oxidize outside of their natural source. They have to be synthesized to be stable outside of their natural source. And that is why you're not going to see necessarily folate in a product. You're going to see folic acid, because that's the form of folate once it's been removed from its natural source. And how that process is done makes the difference between whether a B vitamin is useful to you or useless, or potentially even harmful. Okay. Thank you, for Lorna, for inspiring that conversation. Margaret did follow up later to say that she didn't think she had enough time to clean out prior to it. It was about 3 days after the appointment. That part I'm not understanding, Margaret. Usually you clean out like right the day before the appointment. So what was about after the appointment? If you want to follow up there, we're coming to the end of the session, so we may have to pick up this conversation next week, but please let us know. Okay. Yes, Andrea, she said, same name, but garbage and fancy label, no benefits. Yes. I still am perplexed by this one supplement company. I won't say their name, but they claim to have like the best version of B vitamins and the healthiest form of vitamins for women. And it's this beautiful clear bottle with capsules and like that are all clear. So you can like see the little bollies of vitamins in there and the little gels or whatever. It's all clear. But B vitamins are light and heat sensitive. So how are they saying you're getting this high quality product if the bottle is completely clear, letting all the light in? And the capsule itself is clear, letting all the light in. I'm just like looking at this like, oh my God, their marketing is excellent. But it's just so sad like that, the science behind nutrition is not that complicated, but the marketing makes it sound like it's something much more complicated. And yeah, they just focus on like beauty and attracting you to their product. So you feel pretty when you take it, even if it's not doing anything for you.
I think the science is I think the science around nutrition is very complicated.
I mean, yes, it can be, but the general knowledge or principles that we need to keep in mind when choosing how to nourish our bodies is quite simple. I think we
I agree.
overcomplicate it when we start like isolating all the vitamins from each other and then trying to put them back together to make some sort of custom vitamin concoction for ourselves. And we're like focusing on our liver or only our symptoms. And we're not actually just thinking of our body as this whole ecosystem that needs to be supported all the time. Isolating one vitamin is not helping your body. You need to have a huge diversity of nutrients to let your body function optimally and then get the results that you want. But we just try to like reverse engineer nature and reverse engineer the results we want. And we just overcomplicate it. And I think a lot of the marketing has done that. What's that?
That's why we make our bottles so black.
So ugly?
Is to so black, not ugly, black.
Yeah.
We make it black because we are blocking out the sunlight, and even the light from the light bulbs in the room can damage the ingredients. So whoever made that bottle that you talked about, or those bottles, they have missed physics 101. And I'm not, saying that they're doing a bad thing. It's just that they probably just didn't know better. Yeah.
Oh, Margaret clarified. Okay. Yes, those incredibly difficult instructions that they give you prior to your colonoscopy, or they give you like this many days before or a whole week before, don't eat this, and then 3 days before, don't eat this. It's like reading a parking sign in New York City. Like it's impossible to follow. So I get it, Margaret. She said that she didn't follow the instructions about the things you were not supposed to eat leading up to the colonoscopy, and so she believes maybe that's just why there was some particles left behind. Good. So then, Margaret, were you concerned that it's not okay to do another colonoscopy so soon? Aston, do you know if that's what she meant, if there's any concern with doing a colonoscopy only a few months apart?
I think she should consult with her primary care as to what to do next, but definitely you need to do some follow-up, and you need to probably get a second opinion. But you're right, you should be very concerned that whatever you did for that colonoscopy, it probably didn't work.
I would definitely be taking the probiotic to keep some healthy bacteria in there, and be eating a lot of fiber in between to build back up that healthy bacteria that needs to populate your colon, because whatever the heck that drink is that washes you out like that it cannot be good for you. I get the point of it once every 10 years so that they can protect you from colon cancer. But to do it at once, 2 times in a few months, I understand why that would concern you. So definitely eating a lot of fiber and taking the probiotic to just repopulate that healthy bacteria in your gut. And you can literally change the landscape of your gut in 24 hours. So don't be discouraged. Just eat the vegetables and take the probiotic in between. And if you really need to do it, and I imagine I would actually ask more questions about why they think you need to do it again so soon. Maybe they're concerned about something that they're not telling you. I would want to know that. All right. We do have to wrap up. One quick question from Eduardo, and I'll grab this one. So Eduardo bought himself a juicer. Woohoo! He's asking, what fruit and vegetables do you recommend? So Eduardo, I would recommend you stick with vegetables when it comes to juicing. Juicing, as opposed to blending, when you blend, you keep all the fiber. So you're not necessarily changing the nature of the food. You're just making it liquid and like sort of pre-digesting it in order to consume it. When you juice, you are processing the food. You are separating the fiber from the juice of that food and turning it into a much more highly concentrated version of itself without the fiber. So you are concentrating, you'll potentially, like, let's say, for example, you eat an orange. If you juice, like have a glass of orange juice, you might be eating like 6 oranges. So, and the issue is not really orange as much as it would be that you're only consuming like the sugar juice part of it, not the fiber. So the real health benefits of that fruit are from eating the thing as a whole. Remember the way it was naturally designed to be delivered into our bodies. So if you're going to juice, I would think of it more as like a medicinal type of shot, and I would juice only vegetables. So get used to some bitter taste. And I would think of it like a medicinal shot and not necessarily as like a meal or something like that, just because you are processing the food. If you have any more questions about that, you can just email support@nuspecies.com and direct it to me, and I can answer more if you'd like more details. All right, I'm just going to quickly check Instagram. We're good over on Instagram. I think we've gotten to all the questions today. Whew, that was a wonderful conversation. Wow, guys, you are bringing it. June said, I have researched all the ingredients in MSM to see if I could solve the mystery of my symptoms. That can lead down a rabbit hole of the Googleverse, but Aston can certainly help you. So just get on Aston's calendar and send in if you have any recent labs. I know you did recently send in labs, June, so maybe you don't have anything else, but we could take another look. All right, everyone.
Yeah,
yes.
June, I'm certain it's nothing serious. Don't worry about it. You probably should just go back to taking one of the capsule daily for now, and until we talk. But I think you're fine.
All right. One question over on Instagram says, besides the cleanse, what other products could I add to that? So you could add any of our products to that. It depends on your needs, your expectations, and your budget. So that's going to require a few more follow-up questions. And unfortunately, we have to end the show, so we don't have time for that now. But you're welcome to join again next week and give us some more details about what kind of health goals you have. Or you can call us anytime during our business hours, and we could talk to you over the phone about what kind of results you're looking for. Otherwise, any of our, vitamins and minerals and detox products, you're welcome. You can take. There's no products that we sell that someone shouldn't take. It just depends on your budget and what your goals are. Whew. All right, everyone. This was wonderful. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure and an honor to have you here asking us these questions, engaging with us. We learn so much from you, and we use all these questions to inform my blog posts and our emails, and to continue to make our consultations better. And we're going to be writing some literature based on all your questions to help others get the answers faster in the future. So thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to our channel before you leave. Like our content if you can, but subscribing is most important. And then if you want to get our weekly email newsletter, if you want to receive our text messages, or if you want to get push notifications from our app, you can go to the homepage, NuSpecies.com, and something will pop up, and just fill out that form. Put in your birthday, because we send you coupons on your birthday. If you don't put your birthday, it's going to look like today is your birthday. Which, whatever, you'll just have a different birthday for NuSpecies. It's just fine. We'll celebrate you either way. And then you can also download our app. So please do that, but please subscribe before you leave. And we will keep you informed through all those methods about what's happening with Brooklyn and any discounts coming up and anything that you need to know. Aston's over there in Bronxville today. We're officially open now. So Aston, you have a couple people visiting you from today's Q&A. So that should be fun.
Okay. I'm looking forward to having you coming over. If you have labs, bring them along with you. That will help tremendously. You don't need them to come, but if you have them, it could help our conversation. So look forward to seeing you all, and you all have a great weekend. Be safe, and we will see you again in a week, next Saturday at 10 a.m.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.